It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Crowd is set again. Oh, Joe Burrow swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt, extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole! Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Spike!
Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera! He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to the 24th day of January 2022. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio, from Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951 2176 248-951 2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN, now streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com there to find the website, Michigan Sports Network. .com, and of course our fan feedback email inbox, xbmornings@gmail.com. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AAC Bellino. Gentlemen, good Tuesday morning to both of you. How are you guys this morning?
Great. Enjoyed my easy drive in today because tomorrow might not be so easy. We'll find out. Might be our first real treacherous drive into work tomorrow.
Is that supposed to be tomorrow, or would that be Thursday morning?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the snow will be done by tomorrow evening.
Well, that would be good.
So hopefully Thursday will be all right. But, yeah, the snow is supposed to start overnight all day tomorrow.
Wow. Pretty, we'll see. We'll see what comes down. You know how these weather people are.
Well, they
when it leads,
they missed on the last one, so I think they're taking it easy on this one. And
they miss every week. Every week. You know, I get if we were going to have like some colossal snowstorm where, you know, you're expected to get Buffalo area snow, like those people, like those meteorologists. Okay, that's a little different. But around here, it's like, dude, they miss every single week. They miss. They shoot like 4% from the field. It's like,
that's the Pistons in the first quarter yesterday.
You got to be prepared. It's January. It's going to be cold. There's supposed to be snow on the ground. Like, you know, like, oh, it's going to be this huge snowstorm. Like, okay. You know, it's like the little kid that cried wolf. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. The snow accumulation on, what was that, Sunday or Saturday? Sunday. That was only bad because there were no plow trucks out on the road.
Yeah, the funny thing is, if they miss on a really big one, like they kind of did the last time, then they won't talk about snow for until snow falls again. So like they didn't tell us that it was going to snow on Sunday. I didn't hear anything about that. Did you?
I knew it was going to snow, but
the roads people didn't hear about it.
Yeah, they had no idea. Because let me tell you, Saturday night, the roads were clear. Sunday morning, the roads were clear. And then actual Sunday morning, they were not clear. Around like 2 in the morning, they were fine. And then all of a sudden, you know, at 10 in the morning, it was like, oh, my goodness, like 23 is just in one lane. We're all going to do 60. Thank God I thought this game started at noon and not 1 o'clock because it's going to take extra time to get where I'm going anyway. So that actually is going to work out relatively good for me, at least. I mean, that is a positive. Hey, boy, what a night of sports it was last night. I had this idea before I left for work that I'd seen a topic floated around, and I was going to ask a question at 6:35. I don't know if after watching that first quarter of Detroit basketball that we can let them off the hook this hour. I really, really am not sure.
They were jet lagged, Anthony. Okay, you got to give them a pass. That's what I saw a beat writer type out.
Who? No.
Yeah.
Jet lagged?
Yep. They're adjusting to the time still. It's not the fact that you were
Thursday.
It's not the fact that you're 25 games under 500 and you're down 25 in the first 7 minutes of the game. They had a long flight a few days ago.
Incredible the excuses that will be made and what will be tolerated for that team. I mean, that is a man, is that bad.
I was thinking about this on the way home, on the way here. Now that you say that, tolerating things. How about the ownership of this team? Like, we talk about the ownership of all three other teams. Nobody hears. We don't ever talk about Tom Gores, how he's just completely blind to this team. He doesn't even show emotion one way or the other ever.
I mean, what's he supposed to do, though? Everybody's under contract right now.
Say our coaching staff has been terrible. Something.
You know me, I'd be good with that. I mean, I would find that acceptable. I don't know, if we got to get him on the show to talk about it. Like, why does this continue to happen? Why is this allowed to continue to happen? Why does the fan base... I mean, look, if you were a Pistons fan and you said, I'm done for the year after last night, I would not blame you one bit. If you were out and you said, you know what, the Pistons are the only reason I like the NBA and I just don't even want to watch it anymore, by all means, do you. Whatever you want to do. I can't try to convince anybody to watch that garbage. And nor do I want to. They've reached Tiger's level of it's on TV because it has to be for the job. But to be honest with you, there's 800 other games that we could watch. I'd rather watch those. And luckily, I had a game last night that I was working, so it was just it was just being streamed on the Bally Sports site on my screen in the bottom right-hand corner, and yeah, it didn't even matter. I had other things to worry about. Go on with your life than to sit down and try to watch this.
Maybe we'll do it. We'll have to ask people what they think. What's a good trade for the future of this team? Because you have to make a trade at the deadline if you want the fans to believe you're moving forward. Because this is just doing nothing right now.
Well, what was up with all of a sudden the quick obsession with Rui Hachimura? That's why was Twitter obsessing over this guy for 36 hours?
Because Washington just came out and said, we're going to trade him.
We're just going to give him away?
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's either really hot or he's really cold. But the last thing this team needs is another guy who thinks he's some version of Steph Curry, some wing scorer that plays no defense. Like, that's not gonna fly. That is not gonna work. So I don't know what exactly you wanted to give up for him. I can't believe the Lakers had any second-round picks left. I don't know why I just couldn't figure it out. Like, all of a sudden, like, oh, Rui, let's go get him. Like, okay, for what? Well, look at what Bojan's going to be worth. Like, dude, I don't know. We'll talk more about it when we return here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
They say consistency is the key to success. they weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
4 NFL teams remain, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots to win big on the playoffs at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down the days to Super Bowl 57. New customers can bet just $5, get $200 in free bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings, where new customers can bet $5 on the conference championships and get $200 in free bets instantly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline. 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus issued is free bets. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So the Pistons last night lost 150-130. Terry over on the west side sending in his usual Pistons update after they lose, because that's what he does. His steadfast commitment to the program as the official Detroit Tigers and Detroit Red Wings record projector guy. Put that on the LinkedIn, Terry. Pistons lose to the Bucks, so they're 4th in a row. No Killian Hayes DNP. They had a left shoulder injury. Detroit's projected season-ending record is now 20-62. This team last night gave up 49 points in the first quarter. In the first quarter alone. And as this is happening, I look at my good friend Nathan at the University of Michigan, who directs the women's basketball games, because we have a number 13 versus number 6 matchup last night in Ann Arbor at Chrysler Center between the Wolverines and the Hoosiers on the ladies' side of things. So we're getting ready for that, and we're watching the Pistons, and we're talking about this. And I asked the question, do you let Giannis go for 80? If he wants to, because he's coming back off an injury, and is this, do you ask him, hey, you want to do this? Because you're 6 of 7 from the field, and you have 20 points, and it's the first quarter. So if you want to keep it up, and you want to go out there and just get easy buckets, you let me know. If you're Mike Budenholzer, do you ask him that question? Say, hey, this could be, you could go for the Wilt night tonight. 20 points in the first quarter, you got a chance. If that number gets to 40 or 50 at halftime, that, it is what it is. Go ahead and stuff that stat sheet. And I'm not that kind of guy, but that was a chance at history. 150 points. 100, not even 100, 150. And the Pistons score 130 points on the evening while shooting 50% from the field and 41% from 3. The Pistons lost a basketball game in which Bojan Bogdanovic scored 33 points on 11 of 15 shooting. Sadiq Bey scored 21 on 8 of 14 shooting. And Jalen Duren was 9 of 13 from the field and finished with 23 points and 15 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. And you lost by 20 points while scoring 130. And so last night, when sifting through the BS.
Hey, look at those. Look at the Bucks starters plus minuses.
Giannis plus 26. Brook Lopez plus 15. Drew Holiday plus 24. Pat Connaughton plus 39.
He had
Grayson
6.
Allen,
Pat
plus
Connaughton
26.
had 6 points. He was a plus 39.
And I know, I am fully aware that this league is built for offense. I know that they have made it incredibly hard to defend anybody, that everything is a free throw shooting contest. They allow nonstop, egregious violations and atrocities that take place with the basketball in somebody's hand. Things like carrying and traveling. It happens all the time, every single play. I know that you can't look at a star wrong without these officials giving them the benefit of the doubt and assuming that there was contact with your eye socket on somebody's forehead, and so therefore a foul should be called. I know that the NBA is leaning towards, we want more points, more points, more points.
Plus there's guys like Giannis who
are incredibly impossible to defend.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
Well, on demand. Okay, I'm going to the basket. You're either going to foul me or I'm dunking it. That's it.
according to the shot chart, which isn't always 100%, it's pretty close, but not always, because they use the StatView cameras, which, have so many cameras located throughout the arena, and it tracks player movement in the shot chart here. What I'm looking at is, I believe from Milwaukee, I see 2 shots from the mid-range, outside of the paint, but inside of the three-point line. I see 2 made shots. I see some misses, but I see 2 made shots. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to correct that or to see if that is correct, but that to me looks, that's the modern-day NBA right there. And I get that if you don't want to watch that. I totally understand. If you don't want to watch the Pistons, I understand that too. But my goodness, everything is either in the paint or a three-pointer. I got a Brook Lopez 13-footer outside the paint. I got a Brook Lopez 10-footer, which looks like it's just outside the block. Everything else is a made 3 from Milwaukee. What a shot chart. Wow. Over-under for this game, by the way, in case you were interested in such a thing, 236. So, man, they were close. 280. 280 points. Now, at some point, you're going to have to allow, and it is a physical game. Like, I don't want to act like these guys go out there and they look at, they touch each other and they call it a foul. They'll do that if it is a star, but it's a physical game down low. Like, if you ever get to go to a game, you get to sit close. The NBA game is that's a grown man's game right there. You're not getting buckets at your local YMCA going up against that. It's just not happening. And for the Pistons, they started Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren, the only real 2 players I'm interested in watching. Sadiq Bey, Bogey, love Bogey, so maybe 3, and Isaiah Livers. Isaiah Livers does play pretty quality defense. He at least talks. There's usually a pretty high effort from him. Hammy was a minus 20 last night. I don't know how that happened. Kevin Knox, Nerlens Noel, Corey Joseph, Alec Burks, Rodney Magruder. Outside of Hammy, the rest of them can go. So whatever you want to do at the deadline, that's fine. Killian Hayes doesn't play because he's got the left shoulder. The biggest issue here is that you don't have any beef stew. You still don't have Marvin Bagley. And you have an ineptitude to be able to stop big guys in the middle. That's just what it is. Giannis was, I want to say like all 11, he had 11 field goal attempts all within the paint and hoisted 4 threes. Like, that was it. That was it. Over 50% of the shots that Milwaukee took last night were 3-pointers. We can't run anybody off the line. We really can't. And it's sad. And it's disappointing. And it's a whole lot of things. But much like the Tigers last year, I can't force you to watch anything. And to be honest with you, I can't promote you to watch anything either. Just like, after the first, I don't know how many weeks where you realize the writing is on the wall for that Tigers team. It's like, hey, here's when the game is on. Here's the station it's on. If you want to watch it, so be it. So be it. I might make it through a couple innings. We'll see how this goes. Ryan with his text that usually we'd get during a Red Wings game when there's a goal scored 4 seconds into the contest. Flavor Flav was at the game last night, by the way. Did you see that? Iced out. Man, he was all silver everything.
Maybe he did the halftime?
I have no idea. I think he was just there taking it as a fan. We've seen him, sidelines at U of M, and it's like, well, what is Flavor Flav doing here? Mr. Flavor, how are you? Dapping up players and they score, like, just it's chaos. But usually the text comes in from Ryan when the Red Wings go down a goal in the first 13 seconds of a game. We got that text last night, and it was, wow, passionate, to say the least. More on that when we return here on X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle and finding piggy riches for up to $10,000. Every Friday in January, one lucky winner every hour from 7 to 11 p.m. will break the piggy and reveal their prize, from $500 premium play all the way up to $10,000 in cash. Don't miss Piggy Riches, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000. Or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Another top 10 beat of all time right here. I mean, that's just a classic. Freeway. Philadelphia Freeway, who once said in this song, "If my children are hungry, I will acquiesce the dishes out of your kitchen." A great line. Welcome back here to X's and Bros of the Michigan Sports Network. That's Danny Cahalan and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. Text us. Use the keyword sports radio. Send it to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Or Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. Now, Mike Curtis tweeted this last night that, and I can paraphrase here because Detroit did lose and Milwaukee did not have an epic collapse. Detroit is now winless against Central Division opponents with an 0-8 record, and they're also 0-11 against the Atlantic Division. Dwayne Casey said after the game that as an organization, basically, paraphrasing here, they got to figure out how to play defense as an organization. As an organization, no, as a basketball team. The rest
Including
of the
you,
organization,
Dwayne, you got to defend your job here, buddy.
The rest of the organization can worry about everything else, like selling tickets and theme nights and bobbleheads and all the other BS that organizations got to worry about. For you, the fan, to go there and just have a great time with whatever the hell you're going to be up to. Here is Coach Dwayne Casey after the game.
Not all that memorable, but quarters 2, 3, and 4, maybe a little more indicative of the balance of these two teams. What do you take away from tonight's game?
Well, it's a 48-minute game, Johnny. And the way we started is what I was afraid of. The championship caliber team came down and stamped the game at the beginning of the game, and we didn't respond, giving up 49 points in the first quarter. I liked our fight after that, but again, it's a 48-minute game, and the way you come out and set the tone is the way we got to learn how to do, how to begin games, because we're good at scratching, clawing, but we got to learn how to set the tone ourselves, especially on the defensive end.
I like Dwayne Casey as a person. I really do. I think he's a very nice man. I think he's got some good causes. He's somebody I'd like to sit around and just listen to talk. Like that would be something like I would love to sit on Dwayne Casey's couch and hang out, because I think that would be just sensational from what you could learn. Right? I love listening to older people talk. I don't know why that is, but it just just whatever you want to talk about. Could be basketball, could be life, could be anything. I think that would be very, very educational.
But he stinks.
He is a former coach of the year, but I don't
and
know
got
how.
fired that year.
I don't know how.
And his team won the NBA title the first year without him.
You have a team that has played 49 games this year, and we have to learn how to come out of the gate strong. That's what is preposterous to me. And because Dwayne Casey is so likable, right? And we have a certain level, I'm going to use this term a little bit later on with John Wagner. We have a certain level of apathy here. We really do. If the Lions would have gotten beat 49-0, people would be mad. People would be mad. But it's the NBA, and the Pistons lost by 20, and there's always tomorrow. Right? Tigers lose 12-1. It's always tomorrow. Right? Red Wings lose 17-1. GB Ritzel call, but there's always tomorrow. Right? He's just a likable guy. And I wanted it to work, but it hasn't. And I want to make sure that you, the listener, know that me, the person, does not want to have to pack somebody up and move their family along with their entire staff somewhere else. I don't want to say that we have to go a different direction, that we have to fire somebody, that this isn't working out. They're 12-37, and we can't come up with a championship caliber team. So what are we? What are we? And at what point is this ever going to turn around?
It's like when Stan Van Gundy was here towards the end, where he was just repeating himself of things he said over the last 4 years. Like in postgame. Oh, there wasn't enough effort today. I need to see more effort out of the guys. But it's like, and when they first said it, like his first year's head coach, like finally a coach that's going to call out his team and try to fire him up. And then 4 years had passed and nothing had changed. And that's where we're at with Dwayne Casey, where, yeah, you listen to postgame, he says all the right things, but why do you keep saying the same thing? Where's the disconnect between you and the players where we're not seeing that growth as a team?
This is, but I think this is pretty close to rock bottom. I think it is. Because at some point...
But we could get Wemby.
Yeah.
We can't complain about how bad the team is because we're in the Wemby sweepstakes, folks.
Great. Another draft pick.
It's like we called out with the lines earlier this year. Are we going to do draft watch again, or can we just win a damn game and be excited and put a product we're proud to watch?
That's the thing that really bothers me about this team in particular, because I think there are some lovable characters on this team. You know, Isaiah Livers has the Michigan attachment. Sure, he injured his ankle last night. It's unfortunate. Poor guy can't stay healthy. But at least he talks on defense. Jalen Duren, Jalen Duren's the guy. He's the guy. It's not Cade Cunningham. It's not Killian Hayes. It's not Sadiq Bey or Beef Stew. Jalen Duren is the guy. Like, he's the guy that's got the size and the ability.
Are you imagining in 8 or 9 years he's basically Dwight Howard? Like
I don't know.
Some sort of that effectiveness.
Yeah, I really don't. Like Dwight in his back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year sort of awards. I think that he'll be better with the ball in his hands, I hope.
Good.
Because
Please.
He's so young. He's so young.
Just get in the gym all summer.
And
please.
He will. I hope.
No, just shoot threes.
Oh, God. I'm not saying don't add that to your game.
Dribble. Just dribble for 3 hours a day.
I'm not saying that, he shouldn't add an effective mid-range to three-point shot in his game. I don't need him to shoot 5 threes a game. But he's so young that he really can't do anything else here legally in the United States. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about a kid that's a high school age.
He can go to Cedar Point.
Your child's 18. This man is 18. And that's one where I'll give him a pass. And people are like, well, Killian Hayes, he's only however old. You've been a professional. You've had 3, this is.
A lot of people take 8 years to become a professional basketball player.
Yeah, this guy's a pro in year 1. And when you think about 23 points, 15 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, a couple of blocks, and only 1 turnover, he could do that every night. You start to put the ball in his hand with his size and his length. I'm not saying he's going to be Giannis.
I know. I'm like, now you're saying it. I'm imagining Pascal Siakam type.
Oh,
better
than that. He's already thick.
I'm saying like a guy that
strong, like
looks. He's got the dribble drive ability, but he's got that 15-footer where that dribble drive, and then stop,
pull up.
And yeah, that's if he could develop something like that. Yeah, who knows what the ceiling could be.
And I really like Jaden Ivey. I like the speed. I like the athleticism. Those are 2 NBA athletes. And we've played 49 games this year. And after every single game this year, I've said, well, at least we got these two that are NBA caliber athletes. If you add Wemby, I don't even want to go that way. I don't even, because what if you don't?
Don't.
What if you
it's
don't?
14%, people. If you have that, even if you're in the lower third or whatever, the lower three.
Tyrese Halliburton, then you would have gotten Evan Mobley. Then you'd have Mobley, Duren, Halliburton. You'd be rocking and rolling.
Well, the funny thing is too, if the Pistons fans that are out there that aren't just Pistons fans, they're NBA people. They're just looking like, well, at least we're not Houston. Houston's having their own issues of their locker room, and yeah, Jalen Green can score, but he's still a prima donna, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that shouldn't be the goal, is to, at least we're not them. We're a franchise that's had 3 NBA titles in eras of which there's been some of the most dominant players throughout the league.
It's some of the most dominant teams. And teams that it's still possible to play that brand of basketball. Like, it's still, like, the pendulum will swing back eventually at some point. It always does. But you're talking about the league's worst defense. And you gotta take some pride in it. I don't know how you walk in there and you light the fire that needs to be lit, but you're averaging giving up 120 points a game. That's terrible. Like, that's ABA
You light the fire
defense.
by telling people that aren't trying to go home. That aren't improving to go home.
Maybe you can do that. I don't know what you can contractually do it. I mean, if you got to, like, suspend somebody without pay from the team.
Suspend, just outright cut them.
Yeah, then you're on the hook for their salary. Like, you got to hit them in the pocketbook. Like, that's where, as we were texting back and forth. Like, that's why I like the PGA Tour over the Live Tour. I hate guaranteed money. Like, go get it for your livelihood. You're not performing and you get cut. Boom, there it goes. Take that. That's why I love the NFL. Shred that contract.
We're not going there, Anthony. We're not going there with Live versus PGA. Because
no, I will play for your livelihood. I want you to care.
Anthony,
I want you to play for that paycheck. Go earn that paycheck, Dan.
Okay,
go get it, Dan.
The difference in the PGA is that there's 15 guys that make $100 million a year that nobody talks about, and then the rest of the guys are scraping to make it every week.
Welcome to America.
In the NBA,
everybody
you're making $1 million.
So you give up
you're doing
120.
All right.
You give up 120 a night because it doesn't matter. My check's coming in. What does it matter? My check clears.
So I always say the best job in the world is the last spot on the NBA bench.
Yeah, as long as you don't get replaced by somebody. But it's like backup quarterback. Just hang out, make a couple million. You play 12 minutes a night. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. And I know there's no real-world application to it, so it's tough to say. But for me, Houston, at least we're not Houston. We're one game away from Houston. For all those people out there in the Twitterverse going, oh, Jalen Green's a cancer to the locker room. What do we got? We're one game better than Houston and one game worse than Charlotte, who, if you're Charlotte, if you're the Hornets, you just got to want to puke at the way that, you thought that you were so close last year, and they got to be one of the biggest disappointments we've ever seen. But now 20 teams make the playoffs. So with your extra 2 teams in the play-in game, at least this year, everybody's sort of kind of maybe around 500. I don't know. It's just from a league-wide standpoint, the league has never been more talented, but there has never been. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's disinterest. I just think there's a disingenuous effort on the defensive side, because even the guys that want to go out there and go play on the defensive side, they don't. There's no advantage to it, right? They're never going to get a call, and they've made it basically borderline impossible when you have 6'11" aliens that can dribble, shoot, and pass like guards. Like, it's just how do you defend that? How can you defend it? Whatever that puzzle piece is for the Detroit Pistons, they need to figure that out. Because there's no, okay, we're halfway through the season. Like, yeah, you have tonight and tomorrow off, and then you're going to go to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. Like, what do you think's going to happen there with Kevin Durant? He's got to see that and go, holy smokes, I might go for 50.
Just let them go and play.
Well, it's about pride by that time. Our defensive pride, somewhere, somehow, we've got to commit to the defensive end. It's not like our guys are not trying, but again, we're there, but we're not there. There's another level we got to get to physically, getting into people, making them uncomfortable, and we did that in the second in the second half. They made some tough shots, but again, you got to set the tone. We got to set the tone to begin the game, and against a championship team like that, if you don't, they're gonna put their stamp on the game pretty quick, and they did.
They stamped the game, and they stamped that Milwaukee Bucks logo right in our forehead. By the way, would you rather have the purple Milwaukee Bucks jerseys or these? And not like the dominant color purple. I'm talking like the Ray Allen era 90s with the purple and the deer on it.
I like the newer version of
the
Bucks.
Jägermeister deer.
Yeah, I do like the Jägerbomb Bucks. I think that's what we'll call them from now on. But I mean, nothing's beating, Glenn Robinson, Milwaukee Bucks, Michael Ray Allen, Milwaukee Bucks.
Those are classics.
I'll have to bring that Bucks hat in tomorrow.
I wish the Jägermeister Bucks that's pretty good.
They got sued. I mean, I don't know what came of it, but they did. They maybe made some changes to it.
Say their arena is probably just called the Fiserv Jägermeister Arena now.
Yeah, the old Fiserv Forum. I think that the neck is what it was, is how they won that. I think the neck of the deer makes an M.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's how they got away with it, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check that. But yeah, the actual head of the deer, very, very similar to Jägermeister, which I still don't even know how they get Jägermeister on the fucking Pfeiffer or whatever that is. But yeah, it's the M in the neck is the distinct difference between the Milwaukee Bucks and Jägermeister. Although I hate Jägermeister, so when I think of the Milwaukee Bucks, it does kind of make my stomach, curdle a little bit. So yeah, for me, they'll go host Denver tomorrow night, and they'll play some real basketball. That's the other kind of frustrating thing that I think that when you look at the Detroit Pistons and you look at some other teams across the league that have just done some different things from a roster management standpoint. The Lakers are the Lakers. Like, God bless them. They just traded like all their second round picks for Rui Hachimura, just because they have LeBron and they're trying to make it work as quickly as possible. But when you look at a team like the Utah Jazz, for example, like the Utah Jazz this season compared to the Utah Jazz of 2 years ago, if the Pistons ever would have had Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell and traded them away, that would have set our franchise back 200 years. But somehow the Utah Jazz are, playing 500 hoops right now. It's just preposterous. We'll step aside. Hour number 2 is coming at you next. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations. I think there's close to 30 across the Huge Radio Network. For the one close to you, go to MrCarWash.com, and there you can join their Unlimited Wash Club. Now, this is a quick and convenient way to keep your car shining all the time. It's everything you love about getting your car washed in a simple, easy-to-use, affordable plan. As an Unlimited Wash Club member, you will enjoy all the benefits of washing as often as you like, no long-term contract, convenient monthly billing, and now you can be rest assured with a contactless visit. So go to MrCarWash.com right now, sign up for their Unlimited Wash Club Pass, and that means you can get your car washed at any Mr. Car Wash location across the Huge Radio Network or anywhere in America. And for the location close to you across the Huge Radio Network, you can also log on to MrCarWash.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here to X's and Bros, hour number 2 on this Tuesday, the 24th day of January 2023. Great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176 on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well. BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page, Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that. That's how you find the website. XPMornings at gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AAC Bellino. What's going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
The Detroit Pistons lost last night 150 to 130 to the Milwaukee Bucks, a topic that we have discussed at length here already on the program in hour number 1. If you were just joining us, a dismal performance. However, Jalen Duren did have himself a very nice game in this ball game, which if you're looking for a bright spot, it is the fact that Jalen Duren was drafted by the Pistons. 23 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks for the young fella. 9 of 13 from the floor, and a perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Oh, and by the way, he did turn 19, so he is legal in Canada. His birthday was on November 18th, so congratulations.
Oh, man, I wonder, do they play in Toronto still this year?
It's a good question. That I don't know.
That would be awesome if he went over there and had some drinks.
Legally. Be really awesome if he went over there and they won something. The Detroit Red Wings will host the San Jose Sharks tonight at 7 o'clock. Catch that game on Bally Sports Detroit. Over on the CBS Sports Network, Imani Bates and the Eastern Michigan Eagles travel to the Glass City to take on the Toledo Rockets inside Savage Arena. Yes, it's going to be absolutely electric. You guys coming down to the game?
No, sorry.
Oh, you should. Art Moreno is going to maintain ownership of the Angels after exploring a sale of it, citing, quote, unfinished business. I believe it's Art. It's A-R-T-E. It could be Artie. I don't know. I've never said the guy's name before. Never heard of him. He's decided that the team is no longer for sale because on Monday afternoon, 5 months after essentially announcing plans to move on, Moreno released a 132-word statement that read in part, discussions advanced and began to crystallize. We realized our hearts remain with the Angels and we are not ready to part ways with the fans, players, and our employees. Moreno, 76 years old, purchased the Angels from the Walt Disney Company for $183.5 million back in 2003. The Angels estimated, valued by Forbes here at $2.2 billion. That, my friends, is what we call a good investment. Look at the return on that. Spend $183, and in 20 years, it went up 20 times in value. That's absolutely incredible. Good for them. Good for them. Chiefs Andy Reid said quarterback Patrick Mahomes with his ankle is doing okay, but they are preparing for the game against the Bengals as if he is going to play. He's gonna be under a lot of pain, and that's just gonna be it's gonna be top shelf news all week long. Stephon Diggs voiced his frustration the day after the Bills season ended, and he threw a little temper tantrum in the locker room. I just don't think you can walk out. You want me to be okay with losing? Nah. Diggs tweeted, want me to be okay with our level of play when it's not up to standard? Nah. In a third tweet, he said, it's easy to criticize my reaction more than the result. It's easy to walk out of the locker room. That to me is that's a me guy. We's got to be better than me. Bills' Josh Allen is seeking some rest and recovery as he gauges his elbow injury and what's going on there. Remember when he injured it week 9 in the loss to the New York Football Jets, resulting in him having to change his throwing motion a little bit. And, mechanically he's not where he likes it. Maybe this offseason he'll get back on track. Maybe, I think the Bills have enough talent that their window is not closed, but I would be very, very concerned because nothing is guaranteed the next year. Nothing, especially in that league. The Giants, the New York Football Giants, that is, their general manager is planning to move forward with quarterback Daniel Jones. Likes what he saw, and they're going to move forward. He's a free agent at the end of the year. Giants plan to negotiate a long-term deal with him, or they could issue the franchise tag, which I think that would be just devastating to their cap, but whatever. That's just me. Lakers sent Kendrick Nunn and second-round picks to the Wizards for Rui Hachimura, so I guess if that's what you want to do, 3 second-rounders in Kendrick Nunn. How do the Lakers have any draft picks left is my question. That's all they have. And if you're getting that for Rui, what do you think you can get for Bojan for a competitive team? Jonathan Isaac scored 10 points in the Magic's win after missing 2.5 years. Do you even remember who Jonathan Isaac is? Good for him. The wait is over. Back out on the court. Congratulations. You love to see guys coming back from injury, and they got a big win over the Boston Celtics, 113 to 98. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he and the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Pistons. He scored 29 in his return to the Bucks, and he probably could have went for more than that. He had 20 points at the end of the first quarter on 6 of 7 shooting from the field. And I think he was 6 of 7 from the line, too. It was impressive. Michigan is going to remove 45 seats to create a wider players area in the tunnel. That's what it comes down to with the video of the Michigan State players jumping the Wolverine players and swinging their helmets as there was a kerfluffle in the tunnel afterwards. It doesn't actually make the tunnel any wider. It's just there's like an area where the tunnel is the tunnel. And as you walk out, there is a portion of seats that actually extend into the tunnel. They're right as you're entering the field. They're right there. They're going to remove those seats. It's going to remove 45. I don't think it doesn't really do much of anything. So, I mean, you can applaud it if you want, but I don't.
Is it just the ones where like people can reach over?
It's the metal bleachers.
So
basically,
you can still
reach over from either side.
Can you? Okay, let's say, is it even addressing the tunnel fight or just the fan that was touching Tucker?
Touching the orb of confusion. Don't touch anyone. Keep your hands to yourself. Purdue checks in at number 1 in the country. They are 19-1. We are very much looking forward to a Thursday night battle royale at 9 p.m. in Chrysler Center. All right, we got a little bit of time here before the break. Bill in Knoxville. Bill, what's going on, my friend? How are you, partner?
Hello, buddy. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'll tell you what, I know one person that's hanging by a thread if he don't turn his team around.
Who's
and
that?
I'm referring to H.A. Hinch.
Oh.
I know, Anthony, you're going to defend H.A. Hinch, but enough is enough. Let's clean this mess up.
Bill, he can only do so much with that roster, Bill.
Turn it around.
Yeah, but it's not his fault Spencer Torkelson can't hit a fastball, Bill. Bill, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can only cook with the ingredients that he's been given. He hasn't been given filet and lobster tail, my friend. He's been given like some ground turkey and some beetroots.
Anthony, that's no excuse, buddy. Come on.
Especially in that sport, you got to have major league caliber players, Bill. You can't trot out a bunch of 4A and AAA guys out there. That's never going to work.
Fine, if that's the case, then why don't the Tigers just draft some women that are 65 and over to play for them?
Sometimes it feels that's what they gave away Justin Verlander for, my friend. That's exactly what they traded him for. That's Bill in Knoxville. We'll step aside. We'll come back. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us. It is hour 2. It is segment 2, which means it's time for a little Detroit Lions trivia. Who doesn't love that? This is good. You'll love this. This is an easy one. It's a alley-oop, if you will. Dan Campbell was named the head coach for the Lions on January 20th of 2021. For what NFC team did Campbell serve as an assistant head coach and tight ends coach from 2016 until 2020?
The New Orleans Saints.
Bing bong.
Which team was he interim head coach for?
Whoops, sorry. Pardon me?
Said which team was he an interim head coach for?
Oh, he says, I see your trivia. I raise you trivia. The Miami Dolphins.
Bing bong. I don't have the fancy board.
I got bing bong.
Bing bong.
All right. Starting off the New Year strong. 1 for 1.
What number did Dan Campbell wear as a Lion?
89.
There you go. Bing bong again.
Bing bong.
He's on fire.
What college did he go to?
A&M. Texas
Boom.
A&M.
Dad.
Bing bong again.
Bing bong.
Apparently, I read the Dan Campbell Wikipedia page a little further than you did.
Yeah, apparently so. This guy's Dan Campbell trivia savant here. Jeez. That's good, though. That's good that we all know about our head coach. It's a positive. It's a head coach that we can, I feel like we can get behind. You know, and for as much flack
Provided
as the guy,
results.
well, I mean, a likable character. Team plays hard. You know, that's part of it. You got to at least care as much as the fans, right? I mean, that's always my biggest thing when it comes to, you know, college versus professional. I know that a lot of people are, you know, some people are just college fans. A buddy of mine is a huge college football fan. He loves college football. He loves the Ohio State Buckeyes. He doesn't watch pro football. He believes that the NFL is rigged. It is all a farce, and he refuses to watch it. Like, he won't even play Madden, the video game. He would only play college football. Like, he's one of those. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really care for anything else either. It's college football, and that's it. And it's kind of strange because, like,
he enjoys 6-hour football games.
Oh, he loves watching the Ohio State Buckeyes just pound Bowling Green into oblivion. Like, nothing's better than 77-10. That's one of those things where it's like, I shake my head and I'm like, yo, the product isn't even really that good.
That's like, yeah, there was like the insane like 100 and something games that were within 7 points in the NFL this year.
They're all within 7. That's big lines in the NFL, like 9.5 points. You get the first month of college football, it's 28.5, 35.5. Alabama's favored by 106 points. It's like there's 3 to 4 good games a season per team, maybe if you're lucky. And one of those might be a quote-unquote good game because one team slept on the other team. Michigan, Illinois, for example. Like, Blake Corum got injured. That turned out to be a one-possession good game, barn burner. You know, stressful but fun. It's only fun when you win stressful games. It's not, you know, whatever. But Ohio State, Michigan State, but that's, you know, the product on the field wasn't that great. It was just the rivalry and the fan bases yelling at each other that makes that one at least a little bit fun. And then you have Michigan, Ohio State. But, you know, Maize and Blue versus Purdue, that ain't doing anything for you. You know, Michigan versus Hawaii, Connecticut. Half the schedule's garbage. Ain't gonna do anything for me. Come on. All right, I wanted to get to this. The Detroit Red Wings might actually have some good news here. They don't anticipate Tyler Bertuzzi missing too much time. He's dealing with a lower body injury that forced him to, you know, leave the game on Saturday night against the Philadelphia Flyers early. Could be available, you know, tonight. Derek Lalonde, the head coach, Newsy as they call him, said this is a true day-to-day. We hope to have him for Tuesday, which is today. If not, we do have an 8-day break. So the Wings will play at home tonight against the San Jose Sharks, and then it's Thursday at Montreal, which is French for Canada, and Friday on the road against the other New York team, the Islanders, before the All-Star break, and then they don't play again until February 7th. So they've got 3 games this week. Maybe he'll be back tonight. Maybe he won't. If not, 2 opportunities before the break. He has 1 goal and 4 assists in 15 games. He's missed 4 weeks in October and November after breaking his hand. He was hit by a puck in the second game of the season, if you remember that. They played 7 games and was hit by a puck in the other hand on November 30th, which has taken him out until January 10th, and now lower leg injuries. So for Tyler Bertuzzi, tough as nails. Poor guy can't catch a break when it comes down to the injury front. Hopefully we'll be able to get him back and get him going a little bit for this Red Wings team that also has severely underperformed as of late and has been discouraging, very much so, for a lot of the diehards and for the casual fan as well. This is why I am so nervous about the upcoming spring season as a whole, and that is because none of our teams are very competitive right now, and it's sad. You would need a run here by the Detroit Red Wings where they would have to do something like win 8 out of 10, and then the other 2 be overtime losses. Like that's where we're at right now. If they're going to climb back into this thing, we would need to see a full shift. Why not tonight, right? Why not let tonight be the night? And maybe we could just believe that tonight will be the night, and we'll ride with it then, and we'll say 7 o'clock, let's do the damn thing, drop the puck, and let's go. And maybe they'll be able to beat the San Jose Sharks and give this thing the old college try and begin some sort of streak here around the All-Star break. San Jose, it's a team they should be able to beat on paper, but we know how that goes. Every time we say on paper, I mean, these two teams are identical. San Jose and Detroit both scored 3 goals a game, both give up just shy of 4 goals a game. They average about the same shots for and the same shots against. Like, they're 2 very, very similar teams. San Jose, 14, 25, and 9 on the season for 37 points. They are second worst in the Pacific Division, taking on the Wings, who are 19, 18, and 8 with 46 points, and the third worst team in the Atlantic, only leading the Ottawa Senators by 3 points, as well as the Montreal Canadiens. So there are some very good opportunities upcoming here for this Red Wings team that maybe they could put together a couple of wins, get some sort of streak going, get Bertuzzi back in the lineup, get a little fire, get some good goaltending, play some inspired defense, get some good special teams, and maybe not give 6 goals up in a game. That would be ideal. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe we can do this. Last 5 have been an absolute disaster. They're 1-4, and they're 3-4 in their last 7. Time to string together some dubs. You got some teams on the schedule. This is just like a couple weeks ago when they had to play Columbus. It's the same principle. Like, here's a team on paper that you should beat. Don't go down 3-0 in the first period, and then go down 4-0 through 2 periods, and be like, oh, third period's here. Time for us to play some football. Like, no, you gotta go get it right away, right from the jump. Like, I need to see some urgency tonight from the Red Wings. I need to see some physical play. I need to see them carry the puck into the zone, establish possession, get after it a little bit. Come out there like your hair is on fire. Rock somebody early at mid-ice. You get a little bit, taste a little blood in your mouth, and let's go. All right, also, need to tell you, 4 teams, in case you've been living under a rock, are left in the NFL. 2 conference championship games upcoming. And there's only a couple more shots to win big on the NFL playoffs of the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down the days to Super Bowl 57. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 in free bets instantly using the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers bet $5, and the conference championships get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings. If you or somebody who has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling and Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus. Bonus issued is free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Is this a Union March?
This is the power and glory from NFL Films. 40 years of NFL Films iconic music. Selections from the forthcoming CD box set, in case you wanted to know. John Wagner joins us next.
Imagine this. winning big at Soaring Eagle, and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beangarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Tom has stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Garter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danica Halen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Joining us now, covering the world of sports, a member of the National Football Foundation and Football Writers Association of America. Also spent a couple of decades covering the Detroit Tigers minor league system. Our good buddy John Wagner. Johan, my friend, how are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Anthony, I'm a little slice of heaven this morning. How are you guys? How are your listeners doing? How are you doing?
Everybody's pretty good. We're pretty docile right now for the most part, which is kind of shocking. It's I think we're gearing up for what might be one of the as I mentioned yesterday, a very, very difficult spring season for us. You know, April and the D, we're usually excited about that. We're usually excited about the potential of March Madness, what that means for the Izzo kids, what it means for Michigan. And to be honest with you, things are looking a little grim. Basketball-wise, it might only be Michigan State getting into the tournament. The Pistons and the Red Wings aren't going to be anywhere near the playoffs, it doesn't seem like. And we are looking at a Tigers team that might lose 100 games this year. So things are looking a little bleak here, John.
Yeah, wow. You know, Anthony, you beg a question, and I know you're the one who's supposed to ask the questions, and I'm the one who's supposed to answer them. But you've just put a question in my mind, and I got to ask it. So is it okay if I ask you the question?
Absolutely. Inquiring minds would like to know.
Outstanding. Here's the thing. I mean, and you just mentioned it, and that's what prompted me to ask you this question. You just mentioned the Tigers have done extremely little in free agency this offseason. Made made 2 trades. Have made a few moves, but not anything like last offseason when the Tigers were making earth-shattering moves, trying to build a team that they presented as a potential playoff team. And yes, I get it. I, along with many others, was fooled that it was a playoff team. It clearly was not. I think we can all agree that this year they are not building as if they are preparing for the playoffs. Do we agree with that? I mean, I hope that's the obvious question.
Yeah, I mean, is it possible to rebuild after 7 years of trying to rebuild? Is that what do you call that? Is there even a word?
A rebuild.
We're in
you're rebuilding.
Well, we're trying to turn a 72 Pinto into a NASCAR, so we'll try our best, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think anybody could look at what's happened this offseason and say, well, the Tigers last year went for it, quote unquote, went for it. Besides, Baez and Rodriguez and several other big deals that they made, I think we can admit that they went for it. It failed, no argument, but they went for it. This year, I think we could all agree that they are not going for it. But you just kind of underline the question there, is that you talk to the fandom way more than I ask you about you personally, and then also about listeners and the world out there. Is everybody kind of zen, comfortable, or at least understanding that this team ain't contending this year, and it's going to take a ton of, I mean, I hate to say luck, but there's going to have to be some luck if they're going to contend again soon. Is everybody okay with that, or is that, oh man, I'm done with the Tigers. They're going to have to rebuild for 20 years, and I've just seen enough. Where do you stand on that? Where do fans stand on that?
From what I gather, and we haven't fielded too many calls on this, but I kind of feel like everybody's in the same boat. Like last year was so underwhelming for a multitude of reasons, right? It wasn't just the Tigers. There was the Pistons and the Red Wings influence on that as well. There was a little bit of juice coming off a football season because the way that the Lions had finished 3-3 in their last 6, and Michigan had some fire, and Michigan State. But I feel like we are in a space that I mean, you could be very upset with your team, you could be very pleased with your team, but I think as management, as ownership, as players, I think the one thing you want to avoid is apathy. And I don't know if that's the right term, but I feel like we trend more towards that right now, just because it kind of feels like the writing is on the wall. That, as you mentioned, luck. I was just going to say good fortune. Either way, the Tigers franchise is going to need a lot of good fortune. They would need players to have like Akil Badu 2021 numbers. Somebody come out of nowhere, hit the ball really well. Everybody come back healthy from a pitching staff standpoint and stay there the entire season. Guys rip the cover off the ball. Like, I just don't see that happening. And so I kind of feel like there's some apathy surrounding the Detroit Tigers right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe our listeners will tweet or call or text, but I kind of feel like that's where we're at.
Yeah, see, I would love to hear if listeners feel that same way. I totally get it. Now, the one thing that I would caution you, and I'm going to caution myself before I even caution you and your listeners, there are some pieces in place for this team, okay? And I'm not going to tell you that any of them are going to pan out. I'm certainly not going to say that all of them will pan out, but I would have to think there are some upsides available at some positions. And it's both pitching and hitting. I'll give you two examples hitting-wise. Riley Green is one. Was only in the bigs a short time. He has a chance to be an improved hitter this year. He obviously has a chance to be an improved hitter over the next decade or so. He's shown talent. You think he's going to be better. I think we all agree that he's going to get better. How much? Yeah, that's the question. But you have a chance for improvement there. Another one, and I unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how much pressure you want to put on a guy, Spencer Torkelson at first base is another. That's a guy whose upside is way, I mean, I don't have enough, I'd have to kill 15 minutes of your show saying the word way to say how many times he needs to improve over what he did last year. Way more. Now, the good news is he's also capable of that. Will he do it? Hey, we're going to find out in 2023 and beyond, aren't we? Pitching-wise, you mentioned it. So many injuries, so many young arms. How many of them come back? How many are different when they come back? Will Casey Mize continue his development? Will Tarek Skubal stay on the path he was on and be the guy? You know, Matt Manning wasn't injured. Well, I guess he was, but not as severely as Skubal and Mize. Spencer Turnbull is coming back from Tommy John, didn't even pitch last year. What will he look like when he returns, especially what will he look like when he returns to full strength? There's a ton of questions that could turn out very positively for the Tigers. Now, again, I ain't telling you they're about to become a 95-win team because those guys are going to be all-stars. What I'm telling you is they all have the ability and the talent to become all-stars. Will it happen this year, a few years down the road, ever? All legitimate questions. So, I mean, apathy, I think, is a little too strong for this group, in my opinion. But I get it. I'm not telling you it's the wrong opinion. And yeah, even if all four of those guys pan out and become all-stars this year, okay? You're going to dream big, right, Anthony? Dream.
That's right.
That'd be a big dream. And even if it panned out magnificently for all four, is this a playoff team? No, it still needs more. There's more needed. But I get it. I was curious how Tiger fans are walking into this season.
Going to the ballpark to enjoy the experience, have a couple hot dogs, have a jumbo-sized beer, take the kid on the Ferris wheel, take him to a game. Tickets are probably going to be relatively cheap, so that's always good. And just kind of take it all in. And I guess this is one of those pray for development, pray that you see some signs. But there is for the Detroit sports fan, there is a little bit of a wearing on that as they've been doing that with a couple of the other teams as well. And it's like how can all four teams be doing this at the same time? At least we've seen some positives here with the Detroit Lions. That has been a huge positive. So, John, I wanted to ask you about this move that happened a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to it last week because we were talking about the robo umps, which I did see a clip that was taking place in which a batter, and the first time I'd seen this, and it was one of the New York farm teams. He had tapped his head to call for a review. They put the review up on the big board in real time. It took about 10 seconds. It was they called it a strike. After review, it was called a ball. He trotted to first. Everybody was going crazy. I was like, oh, that's kind of unique. That's kind of cool to show everybody what we're looking at. That's kind of fun. But there was another piece of news that we didn't get to, and that's that the Detroit Tigers announced that they are going to adjust Comerica Park's outfield dimensions and the wall height ahead of opening day this season. Comerica previously had the deepest center field wall in the majors at 422 feet. Now the change moves that wall in 10 feet closer to home plate, dropping it to second in that respect behind Coors Field. Additionally, the Tigers will lower the right center field wall by 6 feet, reducing it from 13 down to 7, and the right field wall by 1.5 feet down to 7 feet. Is this a good move? When they announced this, why do you think that they decided that now is the time to do this?
Well, first of all, let me go back and not answer your first question about is this a good move? Okay?
Yep.
Who knows? I mean, who knows? I'm sure that the Tigers have plenty of information that tells them that it will improve offense by X amount and X amount more home runs and doubles and, all of that. I'm sure they've got the research, but who knows? I mean, who rightly knows? And a couple of things. You got to remember, way back when this ballpark opened, it was built for defense, okay? It was built to make home runs hard. It was almost kind of a reaction to the late 90s, early 2000s mania with McGuire and Sosa and then Barry Bonds hitting home runs all over the place and, other people who were not home run hitters hitting home runs. So this was kind of I hate to say knee-jerk reaction because this is done with forethought. It was what Mike Ilitch wanted, and that's how the ballpark was built. And it seems they've spent the 2 decades since cutting into that, making there be more offense, making deep drives into home runs instead of long outs. They've also talked about giving Riley Green a chance to go over those fences and bring balls back into the ballpark, which, remember, that cuts both ways. The other team will be able to do that as well. It's, to me, though, I mean, the ballpark is the ballpark. Will it be a little more offense-friendly? I expect. I mean, whenever you bring the fences in and make them smaller, I mean, you would expect that it will be. I just don't think Comerica is ever going to be a bandbox, if you catch my drift here. It's never going to be catering to offense. And to me, trying to get more offense in something that's built for defense seems to not be very smart, in my opinion. I think you have to embrace what you are. Let me use myself as an example, okay? I think I'm a decent writer. I'm a very inexperienced photographer. Putting me in a position where I have to take photos all day and maybe write a sentence or two to go with the photos, is that using me to the best of my abilities? In the same way, I think what you need to do is, instead of trying to tinker with a ballpark and make it more this and less that, why don't you embrace, lean into what the ballpark is and try and make it the best that it can be along those lines? Does this square things up a little bit? I would assume it does. Is it still going to be Comerica National Park? Probably. It always will, unless you bring it way, way, way in. And I just don't understand why you purposely go out of your way to change it rather than embrace what it is.
And I guess we have to wait and see how the numbers are reflected. Maybe we'll see some early returns that are that will, grab our attention right away, and the Tigers numbers go up, the home run numbers go up or runs scored, and, people want to point to the wall. Maybe there's some more, as, in the press release, it, said for more, home run robberies and exciting plays defensively and get some more action out there on the base paths. I mean, maybe there will be something that really jumps out to us and it says, wow, that really made a whole lot of difference. Or, maybe we'll kind of see the, kind of the same. It's 10 feet, and how many home runs? I think that somebody went back and looked at video. I think it was around 11 balls that were hit last season, just 11 that would have been over the new walls from the Tigers' perspective.
Wow.
So
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you for a second, Anthony. 11 by both teams total, or just by the Tigers?
11 just by the Tigers, I believe.
Okay, because 11 over 81 games. I mean, you've done nothing there. No offense, you've done nothing. That's a tiny amount. I mean, that's telling you that every 7 games you play in that ballpark, you're going to have one extra home run.
Mm-hmm.
One.
And maybe it's
why even bother?
Maybe it's because they see what they have and they're like, hey, we need to be able to generate some more offense, and maybe the guys will hit it a little better this year. We can only hope so. We'll cross our fingers, and maybe this moved in wall benefits us.
Yeah, and perhaps they were finding that hitters did not want to come to Detroit because of the dimensions. And again, this is where I would say, well, let's lean into this. You would think if hitters hate it, pitchers love it. Let's go get more pitchers who want to pitch in Comerica Park. But I think what you're seeing here is like, well, we'll make it more friendly for hitters, and hopefully that will entice more hitters to come to our ballpark. That's me speculating. I would have a fair amount of confidence that free agents would be more amenable to playing in that ballpark if the dimensions were a little smaller. Don't know how small they'd have to make it, but it's possible, I suppose. But again, instead of trying to make a change, why don't you lean into what the ballpark is and get more pitchers who are willing to pitch in that condition and focus on defense, being the best defensive team you can be to take advantage of all that free space in front of the fences.
And for our listeners' reference, the Tigers dead last in home runs hit last year with 110. And as far as batting average, they were 25th, hitting .231 as a team. Now, mind you, it's only half the season played at home in Comerica. His name is John Wagner. By the way, he's got a new Twitter handle. Breaking news, John Wagner Media is where you find it now, at John Wagner Media. Johan, my friend, thank you as always for your time, partner. We greatly appreciate it.
No worries. I hope you and your listeners have a great week.
Dan Ryan, where are we at for the upcoming Tigers season? He kind of caught me a little off guard with that question back to me. Are you looking forward to it? Do you fall in the apathy wheelhouse? What exactly is it?
I'm ready for baseball season.
Ready for baseball, not necessarily Tigers baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That gives me at least a little bit of insight. We'll step aside. We'll be right back. Hour number 3 coming at you next here on Br0's on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
The busy schedule continues for Michigan State's men's basketball team this week, although it's 2 games during the week and not 4 over 8 days. And because of that schedule, perhaps at least in part, the Spartans have lost 3 of their last 4 after a 13-point loss at Indiana on Sunday. Iowa in the Breslin Center, 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Is Iowa going to shoot the way it did at Rutgers when it won by 11 points? The whole key, in my opinion, for every visiting team in the Breslin Center, can you shoot a reasonable percentage, at least 45%? If you don't, you're going to lose. If you do, you stay in the game. And then the Spartans have to go back and play Purdue at 12:15 on Sunday. A tough week again for Michigan State basketball, to be sure.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy one, get one for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Spotty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 24th day of January 2023. We welcome you back here to X's Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. It is hour number 3. That's Danny and Ryan. I'm Anthony saying good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. Of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send it to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000 or call us on the Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. That's where we find Maury in Kentwood. Wants to talk about the Detroit Tigers. Tuesdays with Maury. How are you, Maury?
Hey, good morning, AB. Thank you for taking the call. Listen, listening to you and John talk, I just kept waiting for him to, get past what I kind of considered, in all due respect, okay, the obvious that, every team builds their team, a certain way. And, of course, Boston's going to get a left fielder for, that looks a little different than a guy playing in left field in Detroit, okay? So they do take in consideration the park dimensions when they're building their team. They didn't augment the walls, for the team purpose. He never once talked about what it will do hopefully for the fan experience, because everybody wants to see more actions, more runs. More than likely, you'll see some more premium seats out of that adjustment. I mean, ultimately, dude, I think it's all about hoping that the fans are gonna get more excitement out of it. Time will tell, but I just think that has way more to do with it than
Maury,
anything else.
I am really interested when they bring these walls in, what that means from a seating perspective. How are how are they going to construct it? What are they going to do? I mean, the wall's going to come in on, like, for example, in right field, the wall's going to come in and it's going to be a little shorter. So how are they going to structure that? Is it going to be just like regular seating? Will it be like some sort of, like, I don't know, see-through luxury box, like a fence? I don't know. I'm actually kind of interested to see what that looks like. But yeah, we want to generate more offense, in Major League Baseball. That's, we're all pushing the offense, and then we end up in a spot where the NBA's at, where nobody plays any defense whatsoever. But for me, you bring the walls in. If there were 11 more home runs, as he said, okay, 1 more every 7 games. What does that mean for some of these hitters? We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Maybe it'll be a stark contrast, and it'll jump right out to us right away, or maybe we won't really notice any different because we don't necessarily have the hitting.
Well, look, AB, go back to Nick Castellanos, okay? The guy was a double hitting machine, and I'd be real interested to see how many more of those gap shots that he hit would have been home runs. And I don't remember him complaining about it, but I do remember him intimating that, this isn't exactly the best part for his game. He's a gap hitter, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think overall it's just a way bigger picture than, hey, are we going to attract more free agent talent? You're going to attract more talent when you're a winner. That's how it works.
Amen to that, my friend. And by the way, Nick Castellanos, I think he left the Tigers organization because when we were both in AAA together in Toledo, I was sitting in the dugout one time eating sunflower seeds, waiting for my hosting duty. So I just hang out, talk to the guys, whatever. There's nothing else going on. Might as well sit around, right? Eat their snacks. And he came out of the dugout one time and he looked at me and he goes, "What hat are we wearing tonight?" And I looked back at him and I was like, "Why are you asking me? I don't know what hat you're wearing. Look at your teammates. How the hell would I know what hat you're wearing?" And he just kind of looked like he didn't expect me to give him that kind of response. Like I was going to bow down like, "Oh, God, look at this 24-year-old. Like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to kick it to you straight. I don't know what hat you're wearing. Go talk to an equipment manager. I'm sitting here eating sunflower seeds with a microphone in my hand. You think I know what your uniform schedule is, you knucklehead?" That's why he left. Maury, I appreciate the phone call this morning, friend.
Have a good day, guys.
All right, partner. Let's get to Freddie. He wants to talk a little Tigres. Freddie, what's going on?
What's up, baby?
What's happening, my friend? How are you, partner?
Good. I'm glad John brought the Tigers. I'm not ready to talk Lions yet. I got my bullet points for number 6. Don't worry about that. Time's coming. I'm gonna educate your listeners. I know your listeners now. They've never seen winning in this town, and Jared Goff has got a mini skirt on, and people just can't wait till he rips it off. They think he's gonna whip it off, and the way he goes. Hey, listen,
Freddie, I've never once thought about Jared Goff in a miniskirt. I don't know if I want to think about that. I don't know how he would feel being referenced this morning in a miniskirt on the radio. That is, wow, man, yeah. That's quite a sight. What if it was like a kilt?
This town has never seen a winning quarterback. They have no idea, so they automatically assume he's going to do it next year. And I hope he does. I really am. I'm pulling for the guy. I hope he does, but this fan base is out of base, I guess. But I don't know. But anyways, hey, can I say something, AB? Shout out to your listeners. They reach out to me on Twitter. They say I love when I call the show. Some don't like me, but it's okay. But some like when I call.
No, I love that. Hey, did my buddy Nate ever get in there on Saturday to get a pizza?
Dude, Saturday was so packed. I lined out the door. I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't even look up.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Saturday was crazy. But Tigers, listen. Now, I got to say this. Deanna, turn your headphones off, if you don't mind, for a second. This is going to be an unpopular take, but I'm very happy that Jack Morris is gone. Nothing against the guy. I love the guy in the 80s. He pitched for the Tigers. He did great things. But I am so glad he's off the TV. It's good to see Greg Monroe on there. But I wish he would have brought somebody from the outside. Somebody we don't know. Fresh blood, new blood. When I watched the football this week, I'm a big fan of Joe Davis as well. I know he's a play-by-play guy. He's not a color guy. It's different. But, I want a guy like that on my telecast. Okay? Joe Davis just fits the part. He's well-spoken. That's the guy I want. As a color guy and play-by-play guy. Sorry, but I'm glad Jack Morris is gone. No more of that fiasco. So, the Tigers, I'm glad John brought it up. Last year I think they were thinking, apathy hasn't set in for me for the Tigers, not yet. And I'm glad Bill said, AJ Hinch, listen, you gotta get yourself together, man. We gotta start winning here. And he shouldn't just be handed the reins for the next 10 years. But I am excited to see the young guys, Torkelson, Green, the pitchers, Kreidler, and stuff like that. I thought we were going to see it last year, but we didn't with the Riley Green injury. But I'm a little excited. I hope it doesn't take as long. These kids start hitting and all that stuff and playing well. But I'm really excited to watch them play. Everyone should, to be honest with you.
All right, I like that. You know what? It's a good reason to feel positive. It's a good reason to get a little excited about opening day. And we're going to play our first spring training game. We're about a month away right now. I think February 27th, off the top of my head, might be the first date for Tigers baseball where they're going to take the field. And I just hope for this team. You mentioned the young guys. Yeah, I hope that guys like Torque. I hope he hits the ball. I really do. But I hope that they can stay relatively healthy, because that's one thing. When you start to get young guys that get injured and it starts to plague their career, and then you never really get to find out what they could have been, that's probably the worst thing that could be possible for this team right now. So I think overall health, which we know the staff, nobody's going to make it out alive. It is what it is. Everybody, pitching staffs get injured. That's why you need more than 5 capable starters on your roster. You just hope that if there is an injury, it's not severe.
Hopefully fewer than 18 this year, though.
Yeah, 18 starting pitchers, not an ideal number. No, 6 or 7, maybe 8, 9, that's okay. But you get into the teens, and we got problems. We got to step aside. We'll be right back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beancarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Tom has stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Carter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. This just in, Alabama offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Bill O'Brien headed back to New England. So how exciting is that for him and for the Patriots to get away from Matt Patricia's atrocious play calling? New Patriots OC. Of course, O'Brien was with the Pats from 2007 to 2011. He returns to coach Mac Jones, who he has some experience with at Alabama.
Or Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, where's this Lamar Jackson thing coming from?
That's just the odd. They're the odds-on favorite.
I don't know where that surfaced from.
That's if he leaves Baltimore.
That's very peculiar landing spot for Lamar Jackson.
Then, this whole Lamar doesn't have a contract. Can't Baltimore just franchise tag him?
They can.
Yeah, and probably will.
That's going to be a lot.
Be like, hey, we're going to try this new regimen. It's called the Pepto. We'll see if you can make it a whole year.
Sheesh.
Without any issues.
You got to go. Let's get to Danny in Brighton. He is on hold right now on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. You can join us too. 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. Good morning, Danny in Brighton. How are you, friend?
Antonio, my friend, I am always amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Will I see you at Chrysler Center Thursday night for a 9 p.m. tip-off?
As of right now, sadly, no, but you never know. Things can always change.
All right. Fair enough. It's Purdue,
But
number one in the country.
There, I will come by.
Yeah, number one in the country. Kind of a big deal. Zach Edey, really big deal.
So I do have a question before. I want to ask Ryan and Dan if they had an opportunity to enjoy any of the Christmas presents that I gave them.
Oh yeah, those got drank real quick.
They did. I still have the one that's like 11.4%.
The one with the wax covering of the it took me a good 8 minutes to get all the wax off to open it. But
I know what you're talking about.
But
yeah,
it was delicious.
I don't know why. Those are delicious. Cool. I'm glad you guys enjoy.
So, thanks, Danny and Brighton. The Dom Perignon was exquisite. Thank you, my friend.
You don't ever come up and hang out at Freddy's, Anthony, so that's on you.
Well, I mean,
I did ask Dan. I go, do you guys ever see Dan live? And they're like, we never see him. So, Dan or Anthony, you know how to get a hold of me. I definitely will not forget you.
So Danny just sneaked some presents into Chrysler on Thursday.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Just put it in your jacket. You'll be fine.
I'll do it, but I don't think you'll make it through the second half.
You might have to crack it early for that game. You might have to, especially with Jed Howard's injury. We are going to be struggling for some offense. It is going to be a big challenge. It's going to
be a banger. Yeah. So even though I realize I am following up Freddie, which is kind of like, following up with Coach K or John Wooden, but taking my chances. I'm always excited about the Tigers. They are my one true love. As much as I love blue and I do love Michigan, if I had to give up every sport but one, I'm keeping baseball. And I have, God willing, we have our tickets to go and see our spring training game on March 4th. We're very excited.
Oh, very nice. That's great.
Yeah, we nerd out every year. We go grab a game in Lakeland, and then we go to our favorite Italian restaurant in Lakeland called Scarpa's. It's phenomenal.
There you go. So if you're going to Lakeland, Danny and Brighton says go to Scarpa's and enjoy yourself.
Yes, and that's I think every year but one we will see a few members of the Detroit Tigers organization there.
Oh, so you're sitting down with scouting reports and everything else, huh?
It's happened before.
Okay, that is good.
Ourselves out.
So you are overly excited about the Tigers this year, and that's a positive because John's trying to gauge the temperature. I want to gauge the temperature in the room and hear from people on kind of where they're at and what they're looking forward to, and it helps kind of paint the picture a little bit for us. But also, I just haven't heard a whole lot about it. You know, there isn't the same amount of excitement and juice as there was going into last season. I think that's partially in part because it was a very mild offseason from a signings perspective, and new general manager. And I get that people want AJ Hinch to figure everything out, but at the end of the day, they're baseball managers. He's managing the lineup. He's shown that he can do that pretty well from a situational standpoint, but he can't get out there and find a fastball for torque.
No, and so that is what I'm excited about, because there are young guys on the Tigers, such as Matt Manning and Torque and Riley Green and Ryan Kreidler and Parker Meadows, Austin Meadows, and Kerry Carpenter. There's guys that, all right, let's see what they can do. And that's one of the things I liked about Scott Harris's philosophy is got a bunch of young kids. Let's find out if they can play. Why am I going to sign another bunch of big dollar free agents when I'm going to be a middling team? We're not settled yet. We need to establish our core. Once you have your core, like the Tigers did in '84, then you sign guys like Darrell Evans and Willie Hernandez to fill it out as opposed to build it out. So let's see what we have and stay healthy. Just stay healthy. Let's see what we have for an entire season. That excites me because I do think the Tigers have talent. And Freddie, we'll be seeing you soon. And I just want you to know, Freddie, Jill did eventually eat that whole pizza and loved it. Dudes, you guys have an amazing day.
Thank you very much, Danny in Brighton. And, of course, Casey Mize, the timetable is, 14 to 16 months from Tommy John. So, yeah, we've got some time there. Love you, Bill.
By the way, I don't know. Has anybody heard about Spencer Turnbull? Because
no.
I don't hear anything. I haven't heard of rehab. See lots of videos of all over the internet of Jake Rogers' rehab. Don't see anything about Spencer Turnbull.
Not a peep. Not a peep. Got a text in here. Love you, Bill. Don't forget, Troy Weaver gave Casey Magic and Bird and Clyde Drexler off the bench. I'm as excited about Duran like everyone else, but can we wait to see him get 17 and 13 in actual games they're in? Not in the fourth quarter when Milwaukee trotted in Crestwood High School to finish the game. Actually, Milwaukee trotted them in after one quarter. That comes from Freddie. I can't blatantly disrespect the Milwaukee bench like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're all professionals. And I know it's garbage time. The whole game was garbage time after the first quarter. But it is encouraging to see. I would like to see other players on this team put up good statistical games against in garbage time against anybody at the professional level. But we have yet to really see that happen for some other guys who we will not name at this point because we don't want to go down that road this morning. Hey, folks, only 2 games remaining in the NFL playoffs. Can you believe that? Well, 3 games in total, but 2 this weekend. 4 teams, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots to win big on the NFL playoffs. In fact, win huge on the NFL playoffs with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. Counting down the days to Super Bowl 57, and new customers can bet $5, get $200 of free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE, where new customers bet 5 on the conference championships. Get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus. Bonus issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. And by the way, I haven't even looked at the early lines on these games and to see who the favorite is. It's going to be real hard for me to pick against the Cincinnati Bengals this week. I'm telling you that right now. And actually, Cincinnati's traveling to Kansas City as of right now, 1.5 favorite. Philly, 2.5 point favorites against the 49ers. That's exciting. Right now, Bengals, Eagles? Oh, my goodness. We'll step aside. Kyle Barlow joins us next. The coach, we got a big one in the MAC tonight. Imani Bates taking on the Toledo Rockets. That'll be a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Sports Network, Danny Cahill, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining us now. A Concordia alum, a real Michigan man, did his GA years on a John B. line at the University of Michigan, and now is an assistant coach at Ohio University. Our good buddy Kyle Barlow, the coach. Coach Barlow, my friend, how are you? How's life? How are things this morning? Game day for your Bobcats today.
Game day for the Bobcats. It feels good to be at home. We were at home against Central Michigan on Saturday, and then now we got Western Michigan today. So we're doing our tour of Michigan, then we're at Eastern Michigan next Tuesday. So we got the 3 Michigan schools and 4 games.
I love that for us. And, big win back there. He's excited. He's like, I love directional schools. We can hear him. That's great. We love it. Rise and shine, kiddo. I do it. You mentioned Eastern. I know your game's against Western, as you just mentioned. Eastern Michigan travels to Toledo tonight, so it'll be I get to finally see LeBron James 2.0 and Amani Bates this evening, and the 4 and God knows what Eastern Michigan Eagles.
4-15, yeah, not quite the year I think they expected, especially after the very good game at Little Caesars Arena against Michigan. A highly entertaining game, and reading the articles, I think their AD was saying, this is the year that we take the tarps off, right, up at the George Gervin court at the Convocation Center, whatever they're calling it now, and just for whatever reason, man, and it's not, this is not an indictment on Eastern Michigan or saying much about Eastern, but this is just a broad thought in general. Reading, actually, it's very relevant, reading an article about the Ohio State women's basketball team, who actually suffered their first loss last night, but were 19-0 going into last night. And their coach said something very interesting. He said, we're at Ohio State, and we got a lot of 5-stars, but that didn't ultimately mean success, especially in the NCAA tournament. He's like, we could never really get past the second round, Sweet 16, and assembling all this talent. So he's like, my staff and I sat down. He's like, we're not getting out-talented, but for some reason, we're not the better team, especially here at the end of the year. So what they did is they started doing similar to what Matt Painter did, is really taking character assessments of kids and building a team and building a roster of girls and guys who are going to fit into a role. And you've got to have some studs, right? We all know that. You got to have some really good guards. You have to have good guard plays. But you also have to have people who are going to play in a role and really embellish that and embrace that role, and in order to have the best team at the end of the year. And, you look at Kentucky for all those years of assembling talent, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they got one championship to show, because Anthony Davis was the best two-way player in the game as a freshman. But they've had a lot of they had, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall on the same team, the list goes on and on for them. So it's really interesting. It's like a case study we could do, right, on building a team rather than assembling talent, which is what you see in the NBA all the time too, right?
Yeah, you have to have the role players. And I heard Austin Rivers talking about this recently, where he was talking about high school players and a mixtape and the fact that everybody's got highlight tapes now. And his point is that in high school you had to be really, really good to get a basketball quote unquote mixtape or highlight reel, as they used to be called. But now they're mixtapes because mixtapes were popular when we were in college and everybody had to download it. So you said, "Damn son, where'd you find this?" For 15 times throughout the song when you gave your computer COVID 35 by downloading on LimeWire. So we all know, we've all been there. We all did that. A computer has a virus. Yeah, it's gonna die.
Dilemma by downloading Nelly and Kelly Dilemma. I mean that one. I mean that was on every mixtape back when we were in high school and college, right? And you're right. You got COVID 35 from that thing.
Real trap bleep. Anyways, so DJ 31 degrees. We didn't know we were going this direction. But yet you have this idea where, and Austin Rivers was talking about, being able to make the hockey assist. It's the pass that led to the pass, right? And he's like, I tried to go out there. I didn't go out there because, I was trying to play really hard because there was a scout in attendance. I was trying to play really hard because we were trying to win. And if you're making winning plays, then things are going to show up, right? You're going to be recruited. And it does feel like we have found ourselves in a really strange place where we have kind of identified all of these star prospects that we want, 4 stars and 5 stars and this star and that star. But at the end of the day, you have to have the roster construction and the makeup of a team of guys that are willing to, hey, I'm the 4 or the 5 man. I'm going to bang down low. I'm going to get the rebounds. I'm going to throw great outlet passes. I'm going to be that guard that's going to defend on the perimeter that might only get a couple of shots a game, right? We focus so much on the box score, and it's like, I deal in this conversation with this group chat of Amani Bates' fan club, and it's like, dude, you could score 30. Your team has 4 wins. Like, I'm not impressed with that, and GMs aren't impressed with that either.
Well, and someone good to look at that, Horizon basketball fans may be familiar with is a guy who was at Cleveland State the past couple of years. His name's Trey Gomillion, and he's about 6'4", doesn't shoot the ball very well. He's not the, most athletic guy. He just does everything. He's the glue guy, keeps it all together. And, sometimes I think that word gets overblown, right, or oversaid. Hey, he's the glue guy. Oh, that just means he's not very good when you're doing a scouting report. But guys like Trey Gomillion, he went with Dennis Gates when Dennis Gates got the job at Missouri. And even myself, I found myself, we played him for 2 years in a row, and I'm thinking, that's not an SEC player right there. But I get it. You try to set your culture. Maybe he gets in for 2 minutes a half and, is really the guy, the heart and soul of that team like he was at Cleveland State. Well, he's starting and playing 30 minutes. And he's playing for a really good team in Missouri, a top half of the conference team in Missouri, a surprise team in Missouri. And I'm watching their game, and he's doing the exact same thing at Missouri that he did at Cleveland State. And it's not scoring 20 points a game. It's really not. It's doing everything else and the stuff that doesn't show up on the box score. And teams need that. That's a valuable part of a team. And you look at the Warriors, like, and I go back, it's the guy you love, one of your all-time favorite NBA players, but Draymond Green had one of the best quotes that said, your three-point shooting is hurting this team. He said, how's it hurting this team? They said, well, you're open. He's like, okay, let me get this straight. If I'm wide open for 3, I could either take that shot. I'm a career low 30 three-point shooter. Call it what it is, mid. He's like, or I could try and set up 2 of the best three-point shooters in the history of the game to get their shot off. So it's like that kind of mentality is something that a championship team needs. And, we're going off on this tangent, but I think it's really important when you watch games and you watch players. Oh, he stinks. He averages 2 points a game. Well, why is he playing 30 minutes? Coaches aren't dumb.
Yeah, no, I mean, old triple single. There you go. You had to go that direction, didn't you? To shot 27% from the long line. Yeah, don't give me that. You know what? It's not. It's something about the how holy art thou that really gets me, right? That's what it is. Like, look, I'm so much smarter than everybody. I do this, that. It's like, dude, if you got drafted by the Kings, you're not seeing a second contract. I'm sorry. I understand the glue guy point, though.
Jealousy.
It's not jealousy. He's imperative to the Warriors' success. There you go. Is everybody happy now? You glad? You got me all fired up now? Now I'm aggravated.
He found a way to stick.
He found a way to stick.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever way possible. And it's like, look, he became a multi-millionaire because he had the humility. Now, I get it. I get what you're saying, and I agree with some of that stuff that you always say about him. But it's like you have the humility to say, look, I got Steph and Clay. I got to get these guys shots. I got to find a way to be on the floor with them.
I got to punch a teammate.
Hey, man, do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. He was with Taylor Rooks. Taylor Rooks went live on, I don't know, whatever. So I immediately clicked it. Well, what are we doing? I got to check this out. Our girl Taylor. But now I'm all distracted. But he was talking about the punch, and he wanted to know, like, how did that video go out? He's like, when have you ever seen a video from practice surface?
Yeah.
He's like, who put that out there? He's like, I'll never know, but I'd like to know. And I was like, wow, shocking drama here. From inside the Warriors, they derailed the entire season. They can't win on the road.
Do you find that that's a way to deflect too, instead of taking responsibility? I mean, I know he's taking responsibility, but it's like, look, can we just stop talking about how to get out there and like, look, yeah, I shouldn't have done it. Let's move on. I mean, that's one of the things I know that annoys you about him. And my point about him finding a role and being imperative to that championship team, it goes beyond, especially in the NBA, because now you got role players who find a role and are being want max contracts. So, which defeats the purpose of a role player, I guess, when it's all said and done, because now the salary cap's all jacked up, right? But I digress. I get it. My whole point with the whole conversation is like, you have to build a team. You can't just assemble a roster. And I think the smartest GMs in all 4 major sports leagues know that. I think the smartest college coaches know that. I mean, look at Villanova won 2 national championships. And we remember the one team with when Michigan played them, and their probably most talented player was coming off the bench. He scored 30 off the bench with Dante DiVincenzo, right? And I mean, you don't see all those Villanova guys being NBA All-Stars, do you?
The best line about Dante DiVincenzo is, and I don't think that people realize how his name was actually spelt, because that's it makes sense with his last name of DiVincenzo and the part of the world that his family comes from. But the running joke was he's got a lot more Dante in him than he does DiVincenzo. That's like, you got to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you cry. That guy, damn him. Like, I mean, I'd love to have him on the show. Yeah, I respect his game. But that was brutal. I mean, comes off the bench and gives you a 30-piece extra crispy side of fries.
Extra crispy.
Large drink. Like, ugh.
Are you allowed to make that joke just because of your Italian descent?
Absolutely.
like the episode of Seinfeld. You ever see the episode of Seinfeld when Jerry goes?
I don't watch Seinfeld.
Well, so Jerry goes to the confessional, and this guy converts to Judaism, one of his fellow comedians. And, just so he could do Jewish jokes and not, be canceled.
Easy, Myers Leonard.
So Jerry goes to a priest and, is doing a confessional, and he tells him the whole story, and the priest says, and that offends you as a Jew? He goes, no, that offends me as a comedian. So you can make that joke as an Italian-American descent. I get it.
Yeah, that's exactly how that's how I feel. Where's my pass? Let me get my card out and flash it out there. I do have to ask you this, because it was very bothersome last night to watch the way we talk about assembling a roster, trying to find the talent, trying to find the glue guys, trying to figure everything out. And I don't know if you watched it. I'm not asking if you watched it. I'm asking you, how did the Detroit Pistons fix this issue? Like, you're not coming out ready to play. You give up a 50-piece in the first quarter. Giannis had 20. I thought Budenholzer should have played him the whole game and let him go for 100. Like, you just go for it. You're 6 of 7 from the field. I know you're coming back from injury, whatever, load management. Dude, you got 20 points in the first quarter on 6 of 7 shooting. Let him go for it.
Yeah. I think just the articles I've read, I haven't watched a ton of Pistons lately, but the
Lucky
articles
for you.
I'm reading, yeah, I know, right? When they went over in France, they did a lot of exclusives with the Athletic. I don't know if you were able to catch up with those articles, but I really enjoyed. Troy Weaver did an article. Isaiah Livers did a daily journal article that they wrote about. So it was just very interesting to see and very telling. And it just seems like, with Cade being out, I think that was, that's obviously a huge thing. And then them just getting the roster right with injuries and guys rotating in and out. And they've had very little continuity this year. And then when you're talking about taking away, the guys, supposedly the guy is Cade Cunningham, you're going to have some growing pains, but I don't think any of us expected it to be to this extent. But if you look back, what did we expect? Especially if you would say that Cade Cunningham's not going to play basically the entire year. What would you expect out of this Pistons team? And I still feel like the players are very bought in and very optimistic. And you look at guys like Jalen Duren and Ivy. Like, all these guys, I think that they're high on, and, even Livers saying, like, look, there's one or two things a game that we can point to. Even if we lose by more than a couple possessions, there's one or two turning points per game and that we got to clean up. So I think that shows still buy-in, and, I think the defense is something that definitely has to be addressed. But, if you also look at it, you're basically playing with freshmen and sophomores out there. And as a college coach, your defense is not going to be very good with freshmen and sophomores. I can tell you that. It doesn't matter how talented you are, because they just don't know the way the game is played. And they're going to be, as John Beilein would always say, on a 1 to 2 second tape delay, especially on defense when you're a freshman. So. And it was true. You see it. It's like, instead of being you're reactionary, you're not actionary. And that's something that he always said. And, I think it's something you see right now with the Pistons, especially defensively.
Is Purdue the best team in the country?
Whew. Hard to say they're not. I'll tell you, if you look at their games, I know we talked about it last week, but they are winning close games. And it's like that championship DNA is something that they have, because you don't win all those close games with different guys hitting the game-winning shots between Fletcher, Lawyer, Zach Edey. You have a freshman who is ranked number 144 in the country coming out of high school, and he's starting at their point guard. So it's like you got all these little pieces and all this championship DNA because they're winning close games. So it's really hard to say they're not. I think Houston, the way they play defense, is definitely up there. UConn kind of went on a slide in the grinder of the Big East, but there's some really good teams, and I think Purdue is definitely in that conversation.
Fletcher Lawyer, my goodness. He's out there getting buckets. Getting buckets, 6'4", 185. That's I always kind of felt bad for Foster, because there was always that hometown kid, hometown team. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of pressure, and I'm glad that he eventually found a space where he could have some success. But that little brother of his is that kid's ruthless.
Yeah, little, but he's 3 inches taller, which definitely helps.
When playing Big Ten shooty hoops, no doubt about it. Michigan will play Purdue Thursday night, 9 o'clock tip-off. For those of you living in the Western time zone listening to us right now, you can watch that at 6, which is when it should be, but they want to punish us all, which is very bad. I'm not a fan of this. I want to write a letter.
Is that a home game? So it'll be 9 o'clock tip for you and Chrysler?
You know it.
Oh, boy. Boy. Yeah.
We had 8 o'clock Michigan, Indiana women's hoops last night.
Woo-wee.
Because
you're putting them through it, man. They're putting you through it.
Because they had to get the Wisconsin Northwestern game rescheduled. They had to smash it in there. And I get it. Like, they're trying to fit a game in the middle of the schedule. Don't make those guys play late at night because they got to travel. This was not supposed to be. But, people were up in arms. They slid our game back to 8:15. It's like, we just got to deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it. We're not coal miners. Let's just get in here, get the job done, and watch Indiana shoot a blazing 500% for the field. They did not miss the entire game. Yeah, it was intense. So, Ohio versus Western tonight, who wins?
Oh, man, you go into every game thinking you're going to win.
That's right.
You have to as a teammate, as a coach, right? So, I think that, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Western's one of the better offensive teams in the league, led by some Michigan natives, West Michigan natives, and Lamar Norman and Marquise Hastings. So some very good players from West Michigan that bounced around and ended up at Western Michigan. So under first-year head coach Dwayne Stevens, who was a long-time Tom Izzo assistant. They're a very talented offensive team, putting up some big numbers. You saw them in Savage Arena a couple weeks ago. I believe you were on that game, and I think they had 75 or 80. The problem is Toledo had 100, which is something Toledo will do. So
they didn't miss. They didn't miss. They came out. I was like, wow, that hoop looks like Lake Erie right now. My goodness. Yep. Will you drop a Go Blue in the handshake line to Dwayne Stevens? You don't have to answer that. He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at KyleBarlow4. Send your children's mixtapes there. Thank you, Coach.
See ya.
There he goes. Always a pleasure. It's so interesting to get somebody who's actually entrenched. I know you might be thinking Michigan Sports Network, Ohio bad. Like, what's the connection? The connection is somebody who's from Michigan who's entrenched in this. And it's always great to get that perspective. For Danny and Ryan, I'm Anthony. So long. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle and finding piggy riches for up to $10,000. Every Friday in January, one lucky winner every hour from 7 to 11 p.m. will break the piggy and reveal their prize, from $500 premium play all the way up to $10,000 in cash. Don't miss Piggy Riches, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Get more for your money and keep your wellness goals within reach with fresh, healthy options from Meijer. Right now, get Post or Kellogg cereal for $2.49 each. And Lean Cuisine frozen meals are buy 5, get 1 free. Plus, a 4-pound bag of Navel oranges is buy 1, get 1 for $1. And be sure to pick up essentials like Bounty paper towels, just $12.99 with M-Perks. Get more for your money and pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beangarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Tom has stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Garter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.